All right, so I'm a data visualization specialist, and my favorite part of my job is incorporating art into data viz. And what I want to do is inspire all of you today to jazz up your Ggplots with a little bit of art and creativity. So we're going to use an example data set that is water use by thermoelectric power plants in the US. And we can create a data viz with just 2 lines of code. But is it good? No. Is it even legible? Not really, right? We can do much better than this. So what we're going to start with is the kind of the common steps. We're going to increase the fonts. We can play around with colors. And we can even put the data values on top of each bar in order to increase readability. But is that enough to impress the big cheese? I don't think so. So imagine if we could incorporate each individual thermoelectric power plant as a bubble that's evaporating out of these bars. And that would show the variation in the data, but also stay true to our theme, evaporative water from these thermoelectric power plants. And now that's getting to be a little bit snazzier, right? Yeah. But I think we can do even better than this. I obviously love the Roaring 20s, right? And so I'm going to take us on an inspiration journey where we can look at the internet and we can try and find some graphic design inspiration. We can find what is called the retrofuturism vibes, right? The grand energy, the bold colors, and we can find inspiration from this. But we can also find inspiration from the fonts that we choose, that we want to put on the data viz themselves. And all of these kind of feel like retrofuturism. But that Unica one, that's the bee's knees. And we can also go to the data set itself, and we can really think about the data source. So here we have thermoelectric power plants. These are so iconic. They really have this heavy energy and this force to them. And we can actually break down the shape of the thermoelectric cooling towers into their component parts. And all we need to do is a little bit of trigonometry, geometry, and a lot of cups of coffee. and we can actually make this on our data viz using just R, Ggplot, and a little bit of math. And so that's what I did. I took the shape of the thermoelectric towers with the curves on either side, and I scaled them to the size of the data. So the height of each one is equal to the total water use. Yeah, we're getting pretty jazzy, right? But now we have this beautiful viz that looks like evaporative water from a cooling plant, but we don't know what it means, and we really need to add a scale bar. So we went back, well, I did. I went back to the inspiration board, and I noticed that the power lines are also important. You can make energy, but you have to get it to the people that need it, right? So what if we took the power lines and we turned that into a y-axis? And so again, using just code and the component parts, you can code this in to your data viz and have a y-axis that gives you the numbers associated with the water use, but also it kind of gives you this feeling of a retrofuturistic landscape. And it turned out pretty nice, and I was getting to be pretty happy about the data viz at this point. But now it has like this empty space on the right. So I thought, okay, let's go back to our source again. And these grand landscapes really have this rocky, layered perspective to them. And I thought, okay, well, let's rely on the data again. And it turns out that we can make a time series that fits behind the data viz. And it's the actual power generated by each fuel type from 2008 on the left to 2020 on the right. And it creates this data-generated landscape. And then all we have to do is play around with the colors, add the legend and some text elements, and voila. We've got the final plot. This is a vision. It's a vision of the future from the past, showing water and power. And we did it, task complete. We took a ragamuffin Ggplot, and we made it into something super hotsy-totsy. So come on with me and hop on the trolley. And let's amplify our data viz up to an 11 with just a little bit of fun and creativity. Thank you.